Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's live. This is the very first edition of my lives that I'm going to do for 2021. So we'll give it just a minute, give everybody some time to hop on, and I will make sure that sound and everything is good really quick while we give everybody a chance to get on. If you are one of my moderators, please let me know that you're on here so that I can know if I have a moderator. I do hope that everyone had a very good week. I did. Tomorrow is my Friday at work, and I couldn't be more excited. Okay, yay, we have Sally in here. Okay, hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of Friday Night Live. So we're going to have Friday Night Live, Saturday Night Live, and Sunday Night Live. And what we're going to do each night is going to be different. This is episode 1 for Fridays. And on Fridays, it is going to be more of just a conversation that is on my mind, something that I have been thinking about that we can just talk about. I do these on Instagram and on Facebook Lives. And basically what I do is it's called Morgan Shay Gospel of the Day. And we're going to move that over here to YouTube, and we're going to do Morgan Shay's Gospel of the Week instead of the day. And we're going to do this on every single Friday. Saturday is still a surprise. You guys will find that out tomorrow. Again, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, we will have lives starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until whenever the fuck we feel, you know? So this week, I had some thoughts, and in particularly Ethan Klein. If you're unfamiliar with Ethan Klein, you may be more familiar with him as H3H3. If you've been under a rock and you don't know H3H3 or Ethan Klein, he has a huge following across the social media. He is mainly known for having a podcast called the H3H3 podcast. Formerly, he also had a secondary podcast with Trisha Paytas called Frenemies. That lasted about as long as a vacation. Like, it did not last long at all. I knew that that was a shitstorm, right? We all knew that. But I've never cared for Ethan Klein, even before he had the podcast with Trisha Paytas, which, side note, you guys know my thoughts on Trisha Paytas. I've met her several times, and she is probably the kindest influencer I've met. Super sweet, super personable, etc. Do I agree with all of her choices and the things that she's done? Absolutely fucking not. I think that goes without saying. But do I think that she's a nice person? Yes. Anyways, he has been going on to Twitter and making these claims, okay, against Joe Rogan and some other guy. What was this guy's name? Hold on. Jordan Peterson. Okay. So if you don't know who Jordan Peterson is, he is a very left-wing / I would say he's very much into politics. However, since the panorama, okay, he has made some claims on his thoughts on vaccines and things of such that I think would be better if he would have been like, this is my personal opinion. Did he do that every time? No, he did not. I think it goes without saying that, you know, that was his personal opinion. However, in today's day and age, we've talked about this before, you really can't have an opinion anymore. You know, if your opinion is different from anyone else on social media, well, let's put it this way. If your opinion is different than the internet, you are homophobic, transphobic, racist, a bigot, etc. Like the list goes on and on and on. That is why I never share you guys ask me all the time for a video going in depth on my politics because, fun fact, back in the day, I'm talking like 2015, that's what I used to do. Not anymore because it's nothing but a steamy pile of shit. You can't have a conversation anymore. And the truth of the matter is, I don't fall 100% on either side of the pond. And you can't be that anymore. You either have to be all the way left or all the way right. And I don't fall in that. I don't. I don't. Hi, everybody. Hi, Krista. Cool. I have 2 moderators in here tonight. That is fantastic. Anyways, so he makes this claim on Jordan Peterson saying, you know, when I first did my podcast with him, I really didn't know his politics. Skirt right there. Okay. We're going to make a major halt right there, Ethan, because that's a lie. There's no way you didn't know what Jordan Peterson was known for when you had him on your podcast, because everyone only knew Jordan Peterson at that time for the C bill that he was helping pass in Canada, which, if you're not familiar with C-13, it basically was going to make it a criminal offense if you misgendered someone, or you like if you knew someone's pronouns and you were knowingly using the wrong pronoun, it's a criminal offense. Okay, C-19, something like that. But that is what Jordan Peterson was known for when you had him on your podcast. So to say, oh, well, I really didn't know what Jordan Peterson was about or what he was known for at the time when I had him on my podcast, that's a lie. And I do not agree with all Blair White's opinions, okay? But I do enjoy watching her because she is a person that doesn't care if she goes and shares her opinion and everybody agrees with her. More commonly than not, and more often than not, people don't agree with her. But more often than not, I agree with her, okay? But one thing she did say that makes a lot of sense, okay, and if you think about it, Ethan Klein, H3H3, he is a clout jumper. Okay, let me explain what I'm trying to say here. Whatever, if you remember back in the day, if you've watched H3H3 for a period of time, then you'll know, I didn't, but I did my research, and this is true. If you go back to the beginning days of the H3 podcast, he was much more into saying whatever to make a stir. Like he said some things back in the day. Now that it's oh so great to be woke, which I know we hate that word here, but it is. It's, you know, it is the popular opinion to be just so woke on everything. Ethan is very much that. Like Ethan is very much that. And he knows what he's doing when he and someone that he is either in a business relationship with or whatever, he very much knows exactly what kind of cards to deal out to his audience as to why he's no longer working with them. And it's always a very woke reason. And if you think about it and you go back and you watch Ethan's content, you'll see that he's very much a trend jumper. Like when it was very popular to love Trisha, guess who he had a podcast with? When it was very much cool to hate Trisha, guess who he stopped having a podcast with? When it was very much cool to say somewhat offensive things and fly by the seat of your pants and just be crazy on the internet, guess who was doing that on the internet? But now that it's more popular to be very woke and censor yourself and say what 85% of the internet is going to agree with instead of saying what the other 15% is going to agree with, now he's more on the woke side. I agree with that. I don't know why. Okay, if you're going to take a video down, fine. I've taken videos down only because they were my first videos, and I got so many comments that like, yo, bitch, the music is so loud I can't hear you speak, because I didn't know how to edit. So I took those videos down, and I am going to re-record them. But I didn't go onto my Twitter and my Instagram and say, hey guys, took these videos down. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. But that's what Ethan did. He went to Twitter and said, hey, I took this video down with Jordan Peterson because at the time I didn't know what he was all about, which, like I said, there's just no way. There's just no way that you have a podcast and your literal job is to talk to people who have trending things going on. There's just no way in hell that you didn't know what his views were. Anyways, then he goes on to talk about Joe Rogan. Now, if there's one person on the internet that I'm not familiar with, it is Joe Rogan. I know that's crazy. Every time that I talk to someone and I'm like, I don't really watch his stuff, it's true. I don't really know much about Joe Rogan. I need to educate myself and maybe do some research on Joe Rogan, but I'm not very familiar with him. But from what I researched very quickly today, he is a very right-wing with right-wing thoughts, okay? And during the panorama, he has had different scientists, doctors, internet people, just all kinds of people on his podcast with their thoughts and opinions on COVID-19, okay? And some of their thoughts and opinions have been very, very, very much right-wing thoughts, or maybe not right-wing thoughts, but a lot different than what most of society believes when it comes to the panorama, okay? Now, I will say that the two beginning of those podcasts, I watched two different clips that I found on Reddit, and both of those that he had people on talking about that. In the beginning of the podcast, he does say, you know, you need to speak with your doctor, do not go off of what we're saying, blah, 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 which is true. And so to say that he is giving misleading information, I don't think is fair. This is the problem. This is the problem where we can't share opinions, we can't share beliefs, we can't have a conversation anymore. If you don't agree with, if everybody doesn't agree, then it's a shit show. That's not the way the world works. It's never been this way until, I would say, the past 2 years. Why all of a sudden, if there's someone with a difference in opinion, they're a bigot? I don't get this culture. And for the first time in my life, I don't relate to a culture at all. And I don't know if maybe since I've been on social media, I'm just in this little bubble with my following. But I've never had a situation where I feel like I'm having to censor myself to please my audience. I couldn't imagine doing that. But I do see how Ethan does that. And it's very funny how all of these influencers, they always grow on the woke side of the fence. It's never that they grew and educated themselves into, you know, another idea. It's always what's popular. It's always, well, I've grown and I've learned that this is the way it is, just because, you know, 97 people commented underneath your post that this is the way it is, and only 2 people commented underneath your post that agreed with you. If that's your thought and if that's your opinion, why is it an issue? This is something that we have to work on as a culture in order for us to continue in society. Like, that's the only way that new ideas come to life. No fucking wonder that no new ideas have come out, because anytime you have one, you're a bigot. And that's just not cool. That's not how things happen. He's a chameleon. Yes. I don't trust people who just get so easily change according to who's around, or if they can benefit from them. Absolutely. Which I think it goes without saying that H3 is very much a chameleon. He literally does turn into whomever he's around. I don't think that we've ever truly seen his actual personality. I think that he does morph into whomever he's around. You know, when Trisha was on, when they had frenemies, he then started dressing up, you know, and saying very, very, very borderline offensive things, which Trisha Paytas is known for. You know what I'm saying? That is how Trisha come up on the internet, by being a troll. But to say that you took your, you know, like, what do you want? Okay. You took the videos down. Why are you sharing this? Are you wanting a good citizen award? That's what it is. Like, he's out there fishing for a woe is you card. Like, thank you so much, Ethan, for taking down those videos. Like, if you have to go out of your way and prove to your following that you've grown and that you've changed, that shows me that you haven't changed. Why do you need to tell me that? Why? Everybody had already noticed you took the videos down. And for those who didn't know that you took the videos down, they would have. There's literally people on YouTube whose whole job is to post videos about who blocked who unfollowed who deleted what off their YouTube channel. Like, people would have found, why does that matter? So then this causes a domino effect of Jordan Peterson and Ethan Klein, H3, to go back and forth on Twitter. And it was more of like Jordan very confused. He was like, well, what happened? We were fine. Which leads me to, this is the question that I now have. When was the last time that they spoke? When was the last time that Ethan and Jordan had a conversation? Because in the way that Jordan says it on Twitter, he's like, well, what happened? What changed? It's almost as if they've recently had a conversation, which then makes me wonder, okay, what changed? Oh, well, I just don't agree with your beliefs anymore. You don't have to agree with somebody's beliefs to have a conversation. And this right here is what I really want to talk about tonight. Why is having a conversation and speaking to someone who may have a difference in opinion than you now an issue? I need to know. Why do we all have to have the exact same opinion and the exact same thoughts in order for this world to still happen? We will never have new creations. We will never have new, imaginations and, like, what do you mean? Having a conversation and sharing differences in opinion is what opens the door to so much more in the world. That is why the world has come up with so much that it has and so many new ideas. It's because people sat down and they had an adult conversation. Don't get me wrong, plenty of people have conversations on the internet, but it's, yeah, I agree conversations. It's, yeah, I see what you're saying and I agree with you. It's never, well, that's not really how I see it. This is how I see it conversations. And if there is conversations like that, there's thousands of people on the internet attacking them, and there's maybe a handful of people saying that they agree. And that hate overcomes the positivity, and therefore you have 9 times out of 10 those people just dwindling away into nothing. And listen, for years I shared my opinion with some really tough subjects on the internet, and it gets to be a lot. You have to be a strong cookie to do it. But you know what? I'm really on the borderline of starting to do it again, because it's really, really sad to see only literally a handful of people on the internet anymore who are really gung-ho on sharing their opinions on things. If you know that you're not a bigot, you know that in your heart of hearts, it shouldn't matter what Tom, Dick, and Harry says that you are just because your opinion's different than theirs. It doesn't matter. Don't be afraid to have conversations because everyone else on the internet is a little snowflake. a little snowflake, little follower. I will never be that. I will never be that. Whether I have one follower or a million, I will never be that. Never. I'm willing to lose every subscriber I have right now if we can't have a conversation. But it's really scary, like just scrolling through Twitter and seeing all of these other what is happening? So I was just on Blair White's channel. And you know, H3 has responded to her video. She did a video, okay, about this whole entire thing. And then Ethan Klein, of course, he had to respond to it because she's almost at 1 million subscribers. So, of course, that makes her big enough to Ethan to respond to. And now Marky, which I don't really know who that is.
Blair White, a creator here on YouTube who has a slight reputation of lying. I've actually spoken about Blair a few times here on the channel in the past, but it just seems like nothing has changed. Now, we will get into the more recent controversy later in the video, but I feel like it's only right to give a bit.
I'm live on YouTube. What? Okay. I want to see what this is about. Exactly, Sally. I agree with that.
Blair White actually is. Blair is a trans woman who has
made
video and have like a caption or anything to go along with it. That would be a good rebuttal. But when you post this picture on your own Twitter and have the caption saying #Black Lives Matter, yeah, I don't really know how anyone could defend that. Now, this obviously wasn't mentioned in the video because that would completely go against anything that Blair.
Okay. I see what this is about. So I've seen this on Twitter. So during the beginning of the panorama, and also when Black Lives Matter was in its like prime, okay, a lot of influencers, okay, so there was influencers who spoke on the matter, okay, and were very heavy hitters on speaking on the matter, and then there were influencers who completely disappeared, which Sophia, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Nagard, maybe, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Huge YouTuber. She grew very fast when she went into Sephora and bought every lipstick they had and melted them into one. She completely ghosted. A lot of YouTubers ghosted, like didn't talk about it, nothing. And some of them left the internet altogether, as in Sophia. Anyways, Blair White posted onto Twitter and Instagram, I believe, a picture of her in a charcoal mask. And in her video where she talks about Jordan Peterson and H3H3 and Joe Rogan, she talks about how they mentioned her in this mask. And she says, you know, people called me racist because I wore this mask on the internet. However, what Blair failed to mention is the caption and the hashtag, well, mainly the hashtag she used, which was #Black Lives Matter.
In said video caption saying #.
Okay.
You know what? That's a good point to bring up. If that picture was just making the rounds and it didn't have like a cap to go along with it, that would be a good rebuttal. But when you...
So what it actually says, and I think she did this on Instagram, but it says Blair Black, intersectional trans feminist, depressed, mentally ill, #Black Lives Matter, non-binary dragonkin. This is what it looks like. So if you're unfamiliar with Blair White, basically she only believes that, which this isn't something that I'm ever going to share my opinion on because I don't think it's my place to. I'm not transgender, so I don't feel that it's my place to really stick my toe in the sand on this. But essentially, she believes that there is only, in order to be transgender, there has to be a scientific reason behind why you are transgender. So in other words, she does not believe in non-binary. Now, has she ever come out and said that? No, but she does believe in gender dysphoria, which in other words is a scientific diagnosis for people who are then diagnosed as transgender. They grow up or have gender dysphoria. Non-binary folk do not. So typically, most non-binary, which I don't know about all, but from what I've researched on the subject, most of them do not believe in gender dysphoria because they do not believe that they're not either gender. I have so much respect for people who stand up for what they believe in and say it with their whole chest, even if I disagree with what they're saying, instead of just saying things to appease someone. Yes, exactly. Now, I want to mention something here. Just because the way that this looks edited here on the screen, I just want to say, is this real or has this caption been photoshopped? Does that look photoshopped to anyone else? I don't know. I don't follow Blair White on social media, so I would not know. But just the way that this looks, and I did go back and look at Blair's video where she mentions this and says, it was just a mud mask, like, I'm not racist. She only showed the photo. She didn't show the caption. So I thought maybe she just posted a picture on Instagram. I didn't know that all of this shit was above it. But does anyone follow her, and can anyone confirm that this is what she originally said with this photo? Because that's a problem, right? That's an issue, okay? If you're wanting to raise awareness for Black Lives Matter and you are, trying to do what you can and do your due diligence, number one, I think that it's very weird looking for you to go onto the internet and post what you donated to different places and all of this and that. When all that was going on here in Tennessee, we had protests everywhere. Me and Chris live in Knoxville, and we do not live far from downtown Knoxville, which a lot of protests were going on in downtown Knoxville. But we donated. I didn't post that on social media. I feel like that's weird. Nobody follows her. Yeah, Krista, that's me. Like if she has like a trending video or whatever, I'll be like, oh God, what she said now, what's going on now. And that's exactly what happened when I seen her video about H3 and Jordan Peterson and all them. I was like, oh God, of course she has an opinion on this whole bunch of shit. But the whole thing is, whether you like Blair or you hate Blair, or whether you like H3 or you don't, it doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make in this Friday Night Live is that we need to be comfortable as a society to have a difference in opinion. It is the most ridiculous thing in the world that we can't sit down and have a conversation and you and I have a difference in opinion and we can walk away from that conversation and still be cordial. That is a big problem, and that is fucking scary. Okay? That is really fucking scary. That makes me very fucking scared that we can't have a conversation anymore. We can't have a difference in opinion. And if we do, I'm a bigot because my opinion's different than yours, or you're a bigot because your opinion's different than mine. And it's based on who? Groups of people on the internet believe. So you're going to change your whole ass opinion on something just because a group of people on the internet that are larger than the group of people who believe the way you do, you're going to change your whole ass opinion because of that. That is scary, my friend. That is scary, my friend. Like, that is super duper scary, and not a society that I'm excited for my future children to grow up in. Like, for real. Like, I think it's very beneficial to have people with different ideas and opinions so things are seen from all sides. Exactly. Why in the fuck do you think that when somebody goes and, streaks down the road, okay, well, we'll have to use something more serious than that. Okay, let's say somebody goes in a bank, okay, and pulls the ATM out with their truck. And a bunch, and all these people witness it. That's why when you go to court, that guy goes to court who pulled that ATM out with his truck. We literally had that happen a couple of years ago at the bank down the street. I live in the country, honey. This guy literally, this bitch literally tied a rope around a ATM, my friend, and drove off in his F-150. Bitch, I'm not lying. Anyways, when he went to court, that is why there is the prosecutor and the defense. Okay? There's two different opinions, right? And then we come to one conclusion. That's how that shit's done, baby. It's not two people coming in with the same opinion. Okay, well then why do we need to draw a conclusion on anything? Let's just let you guys figure everything out for all of us, and we'll just sit back and we'll keep our mouth shut and we won't ever peep a word. No, there's too many people like me around. Hi, Morgan. It's Christy. I'm the one that had an issue donating because of Wanda's shenanigans a couple months ago. Oh, I'm so sorry, Vera. Guys, if you would like to donate to the channel, all links are down in the description box. I would greatly, 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 greatly appreciate it. Hi, Lauren. I live in Oklahoma, and I'm in a little town, and crazy shit happens here, too. Y'all, we have had, let's see, there was a gas station that's right down the road, their ATM inside. Somebody had broken into the gas station. They stole all the cigarettes and then took the ATM out, and they pulled that bitch out of concrete. And then the bank down the street, like 3 or 4 years ago, it happened to them as well. I think it's the same person. They still haven't caught that motherfucker. How do you not catch someone? How do you not know? I feel like that motherfucker drove right home, got that money out, and went and burnt his truck up somewhere or something. Like, how do you not catch them? I feel like you would catch them by now. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, let's go over what we talked about here tonight. So tonight we talked about, this is what Friday Night Lives are going to be from now on. We are going to have open conversations that are not always easy to have. Sometimes they're hard conversations. And we are going to, even in my little bubble here, we are going to re-educate ourselves on how to have an adult conversation. I'm going to come with my opinion. Those of you with difference in opinion, you're going to share yours. And we're going to have a fucking conversation, okay? We're going to do that on Friday night. So tonight was kind of the introduction to that. And we gave an example of how society is today, in that we all have to have the same woke opinion. And if we don't, we're a bigot. That's just not the case. That's just not the way the cookie crumbles, okay? At all. Cute. Saturdays, I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys now what Saturday Night Lives are going to be. They're also going to start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or a little before or after, give or take, because I'm literally getting off work, going and grabbing me and Chris dinner, coming home, eating, and getting right on live like I did tonight. We had Long John Silver's, and it was really good, period. Okay, so Saturday night, we are going to do skincare together, and usually probably my hair, and we're just going to chit chat and hang out, and it's just going to be a very casual live. Fridays are going to be more conversations or topics that I want to talk about. Saturdays are just going to be hangouts, and Sundays lives are all going to be just so you guys can vote on the next week's story time. By the way, if you haven't watched this week's story time, it does have a voice memo in it sent to me from someone who was involved in my life during the time that my stalker was. So if you haven't seen that video yet, go to my channel and watch it. It is right on my channel as soon as you go to it. So you won't even have to search for it. Also, you guys, before you leave tonight, be sure that if you can, go down in the description box and donate to the channel. That all goes into all of this here. this whole production that I run on myself. We are so close to being monetized as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Or if you've been away for a while and you're coming back, resubscribe, or whatever the case may be sure that you are subscribed. And we are 100 people away from being monetized on this channel. So for those of you guys who have been here from the beginning, shout out to you guys. I appreciate all of you, everyone who's coming along for this journey. I appreciate you all. But for those of you guys who have donated to this channel, when we hit 1,000, I have something very special going out to each of you. Each of you, I have something very, very special. So everyone who's donated to this channel, I have your information written down, and I will be sending you guys a goodie pack with a thank you for helping me get to monetization. That voice memo, who was the guy living in the attic and how did he latch onto her? Was he already living in the attic when she moved in? So the guy who lived in the attic was my stalker. He lived in our attic for a while we lived in that house, and I have that video on my channel. Yes, he was prosecuted and he went to prison. He died in prison. He was only in prison for a short period of time before he died. Unfortunately, the truth of the matter is that if you're being stalked, unfortunately, something has to happen in order for anything crucial to happen. And I had a restraining order on him, and something very, very, very dark happened. I did record that video before on my channel, but it was just too dark and it's still very traumatic for me, that whole situation. So I didn't leave it on my channel. I filmed it, and I think 20 people got to watch it, and I took it off. But yeah, it's very triggering and very traumatic, but it did end in a very, very, very traumatic way. And that's just the unfortunate part. And that is why I do talk about my stalkers so often on my channel, because that is the only way that you can really get help in those situations. And I want to get that point across. The only way that you can really get help and get something done when you are being stalked and your privacy is being invaded that way is to speak on it and let people know what's going on, which I did not do. And I regret that every day. Your friend's story. My friend's story. That friend lived with me in that house. That was the friend who lived with me in the house that he lived in our attic. Guy living in the attic. Yeah, that's the only man who ever lived in our attic. Aside from the house that I lived with. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, so you're talking about that creepy fuck girl that I used to be friends with. Okay. So that guy, I really can't say much on it. That story, a lot of details had to be changed because me and her no longer speak. So a lot of details had to be changed in order for me to tell the story without including information that I didn't have her approval to share. How can I say this? What I can say is that he did get in trouble. Okay. But things definitely took a turn, and I can't really say much more than that. I did get a message from her after that video went up, and she did ask me to remove it. So I took the video down and edited the things out that she wanted edited and put it back up. You know what? I don't care. She ended up with the guy. She ended up with him. This man living in her attic, watching her every move. She ended up falling for, I guess. I don't know. And I think it's crazy as fuck, but you know, whatever makes you happy, I guess. So yeah, she ended up with that motherfucker, and you know, whatever, man, but that shit's crazy as fuck. Like, if you are interested in me, you can say that. You most definitely do not have to hide in my fucking attic. Like, that is the last thing that you need to do, is hide in my fucking house, bitch. That is creeper level 1000. Do you understand me? Oh no, we haven't been friends since, because I literally thought that he had like put her under a spell. Like I for real thought that shit when she told me like, yo, like I'm in love with him. I was like, you've got to be kidding. And like, guys, this is like some old ass weird man. Like it's not. Anyways, um, so yeah, I forgot all about that fucking story. It is in my book, and um, it's the full story will be in my book one day, but I can't tell the full details on YouTube. But it will be in my story one day, in my book. Anyways, you guys, back to what I was saying. If you would like to donate to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Right now, I'm trying to update my laptop and also get the rest of this room soundproofed. And all of that takes money. I'm not monetized. I don't get many sponsorships because I like to say the word fuck and keep it real over here. And I've had shit sent to me, and people wanted to sponsor me, but if your shit sucks, I'm not going to come on my YouTube channel and tell my subscribers, say, go buy this piece of shit and waste your money. I'm not going to do it. And like I've told you guys before, I don't agree with Patreon because I don't want to force you guys to pay a monthly subscription and to get my content. I would rather you guys just do it when you want, or when I need it. And right now is a time when I really do. So if you can, my Cash App and PayPal is down in the description box. Also, if you are not following me on TikTok, it is also linked down below. I'm at MorganShay33 on TikTok. Please go follow me there. I'm also trying to get to 1,000 over there so I can start doing Monday Night Lives on TikTok. So we're super close. I don't think many of you guys from YouTube are following me over there. So if I could get you guys over there following me, I think that we could get to 1,000 very quickly. Ooh, got burpees. Whew. Also, I want to share this blush. So some of you may know of this blush just because I don't think it's, but I made like a very small, Etsy, not Etsy, Ulta order the other day just because I needed one of my favorite foundations, this one right here, the MAC Studio Fix in C3.5. It's one of my favorites. It's what I'm wearing today. But this blush right here by ColourPop, it is a Super Shock Cheek Pearlized blush. So it has like a little bit of a sheen to it and drop of hat. You guys, look how freaking pretty this is. I got compliments on this blush all day long, and I am so obsessed with it. Look how pretty that is. You see that sheen? I literally got so many compliments on this blush today, and I was like, I thought it was pretty, but dang. You're going to wear yourself out. That's the point. 2022 is the year of growth here on this page. This is the year that I want things to actually happen. And in order for them to happen, I have to work hard. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to work hard. And hopefully by the end of this year, I'll be able to make a living on social media. And like I've told you guys before, once I'm able to make a living off this shit, I will be uploading content 7 days a week. Because I feel like if you are getting paid to do this shit, you should be doing your job at least 5 days a week. What are you doing the rest of the week? I'm confused. So we go to God, Lord, I want you to do my makeup. I'm on all the shit, so you got to be good. I will try my best to do your makeup the best I can. But yeah, guys, let's see here. Let me check this just to make sure I don't need to shout anybody out before I get off here, because it seems like every time. Okay, I just got an email of what we are raising money for right now. What we are raising money for right now on the channel, I am wanting to update this laptop right here. So what I have right now is a 2014 MacBook Air, and I'm wanting to update it just to make it easier to edit and stuff like that. And also I need to finish soundproofing this room. So this room is actually really, really large, and it's downstairs. So anytime somebody walks around or a door shuts, like you can hear absolutely everything. And I've bought microphones to try to make it a little bit better, and I've soundproofed the one wall in front of me. but the whole thing's going to have to be soundproofed, and it's very freaking expensive to get it soundproofed right. So I'm trying to get all of that done. I work just a regular full-time job, and I have all of my bills to pay, house payment, car payment, you know the drill. Um, so this shit can get really expensive, and I don't want to have you guys paying Patreon for me to tell story times. So if you can, I would greatly appreciate it. Down in the description box is my PayPal and my Cash App. But let me make sure that I don't need to shout anybody out really quick. But the person who just sent me that email asking what we are collecting for right now, that is what we need: some new equipment, and we need to finish soundproofing this room. Okay. Just want to make sure that nobody has done anything yet, because I want to be sure that I can shout people out. I hate that when I get off of live and then people send and I can't shout you out. Also, if you do send it to me on Cash App, please let me know what your username is on YouTube. And if your email isn't in there, send me your email. That way I can get some information from you, because like I said, when we hit 1,000, which we're close, we only have 100 more people to subscribe, and we're at 1,000. I'm sending everyone who donates a goodie bag out, and it is a very cute goodie bag. So please, 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 if you do that, please let me know your info so that I can send you a thank you for helping build this channel up before I made money on YouTube. I really appreciate it. I just, I want the quality to be good for you guys, and that is not cheap. In order to get the quality to be something that people are going to want to watch, it's not cheap to do that. And I just really wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for you guys. Like, each and every single one of you guys have helped me in more ways than you know. Even the people who can't donate to the channel or, never have, that's amazing. And the people who do, I love you guys with all of my heart. But to the ones who are just here, you watch my content, you comment, you like, you follow my life. Like, there's so many of you guys that I know on a first name basis, like, that are saved in my phone, like, my phone number. And I feel like we've created a community here where I never have to worry about, somebody leaking my shit out on the internet. Like, I feel like we have a really good group of people here. And I think that that's the most important thing, and the biggest thing that I'm proud of with this community that we've started here. And I want this to be different. I don't want this to be like other communities, because I feel like there's a wool pulled over the people's eyes on other channels where, the person that they follow on YouTube might not be being genuine with them, and, they're not telling them whole truths, and, you're only getting half truths from the people that you follow on social media. We're all fucking people here. I'm no different than any of you guys. I just so happen to share my life with you on the internet. But aside from that, I'm a person. I'm a regular fucking person. And so is everybody else. No matter how nice they think their shit stinks, their shit still smells like shit. Okay. At the end of the day, all of them poop. All of them shit. All of them. They all have to put their pants on one leg at a time. None of them have a robot machine that puts their clothes on for them. They are people like you and me. And I think that that's important that we remember that. And I also think that it's important that we remember how awesome it is that we've built a community here where we can be open, honest, communicate, and just be there for one another. And I appreciate every single one of you. We have a little something on PayPal, it looks like here, from Miss Christy. Love you too. You guys are something else. I appreciate you so much, Christy. Thank you so much, my dear. Shout out to you. I already have your information for your goodie bag. And I think that's it, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. If you do donate after I end this live, I will shout you out in tomorrow night's live, so don't worry. I will shout you out. Just remember, again, if you do Cash App instead of PayPal, please let me know what your email address is so that I can send you a goodie bag when we hit 1,000, which I think we're 99 people away from hitting 1,000. Do you guys remember when I started this channel? How many of you guys are from back then? I remember the ones who were. There were only a few. I think I was at like 36 subscribers for almost a year, which is crazy. So we've grew a lot over here. We've grew up. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight on this Friday night. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your night. Be safe. Whatever you do, be safe. I will see you guys here again tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be hanging out, doing some skincare, doing our hair, hanging out. See you tomorrow, Sally. Good night, everybody. I will see you guys here tomorrow. Be here, be square. And yeah, go down to the description box. There's some fun stuff, and be sure that you like the spot before you leave. Bye.